Do you wanna be a motorhead? I wanna be a motorhead. I live to be a motorhead. I'm gonna be a motorhead. The motorhead traveler.
Motorhead Traveler with your host, Kevin Cullen.
Hey everybody, I'm Kevin Cullen and welcome to another wicked motorhead adventure. You might have guessed by driving up in this bad boy Defender that we are in the heart of Africa in Uganda, just outside of the city of Kampala. And what we've come here to do is to learn how to drive in some of these harsher environments of the world. They're not as developed as Europe and North America, where of course we're from. So what we've come to do is join the gang from OnCourse Driving Center and learn how to deal with this environment, what some of the road systems are like, do their low-range course, which is of course going slow over lots of hazards and terrain, their high-range course to know how to really choose the correct gear, the correct speed, and the correct entry and exit points of each one of the corners, so that when you come here to Africa or other parts of the world that aren't quite as developed, that you will have the skills you need to have a good time, get out there and play in your own vehicle. And I tell you what, I think it's time to get started. Let's get going.
It is chaos and it can be a bit daunting to start with, but there is a system which you can recognise after a while, and it can be very, very frustrating dealing with all the traffic issues here. And the most important thing that you have to bear in mind is not to let that change your attitude with respect to driving. Keep your calm, don't lose your temper, and leave a larger distance between vehicles, yourself and other vehicles as possible, more than you would do back home. And that way you'll be able to react correctly to any unseen or unexpected situations.
This is some more of the typical traffic that you'll see driving here in some of the cities around Uganda. Bicycles, people, everything going everywhere. So, you know, that's why we're here, so that if you want to come and visit some of these fun countries over here, that you know what to do.
Welcome to OnCourse's facility.
Well, this looks pretty sweet out here.
All right, Kevin, we're going to see how lunch is progressing. We've got something cooked up for you.
Well, cool. I always like starting with lunch. Get out there and start to learn when you don't have a full stomach. I think it impacts on people's concentration levels. So I think starting with a nice lunch is a great way to go.
So we've got here's a typical Ugandan style kitchen where we use firewood for cooking all the food. Basically, we feed people at lunchtime. We're isolated away from any nearby restaurants, so providing the food on site saves some time for us, but it also gives somebody who's new to Uganda an opportunity to taste some typical Ugandan food, which is really good stuff. So what we've got going here, we've got beans, a traditional African dish, and in there's a beef stew, cooked cabbage, Irish potatoes, which are they're called Irish potatoes in Uganda because basically they've got the sweet potatoes as well. This is ugali. It's made from maize flour, so corn flour. Cassava, also called manioc in some places. So it's a root vegetable, like a root starch. And pumpkin. I think everybody knows what pumpkin is. Rice.
Wow, this is quite the spread.
Sweet potatoes. And this is, for this region in Uganda, the Buganda region, this is the traditional staple food, which is matoke, which is a steamed plantain. This is done in the traditional way here in the village area, where it's steamed in the banana leaves themselves. So it's all steamed up and cooked really nicely.
Now, which one do you think I should start with? Which one?
I would actually start with the matoke. This one here.
A bit almost like a potato, quite honestly.
Yeah, a bit of potato, a bit of banana.
Yes, it's very nice.
And the beans, it's one of my favourite dishes. I like beans. I could eat beans every day anyway, but
Oh, that's very different than what you might think it would be like in your normal brown bean
Yeah.
you get at home. But very nice.
Very nice. Cooked up with some tomatoes and onions and green peppers.
Okay, and then of course a traditional staple we all know all over the world with rice, but we have some stew of some kind that you
Yep.
suggested putting over the top.
Beef stew.
That's really tasty. So if you do take the time to come to Africa, make sure you taste the food. If you're coming to take this course, this is a great place to do it, and I'm sure there's lots of spots around town that you can.
Yep, great stuff.
Cheers, thank you very much.
Bon appetit.
The Motorhead Traveler. Now, what is this all about here with these, little trees?
Okay, so this is our first exercise on our low range course, and what this exercise is designed to do, and it does it quite effectively, is to start to introduce the driver in a bush environment to a concept we call wheel printing. And wheel printing is the ability to be able to put your wheels in the right place on the road in respect to what's happening on the road surface itself.
Don't use any throttle, just release the clutch pedal nice and slowly. Let the vehicle move off and take your foot right to clear the clutch pedal completely. You can see now with low range engaged, the vehicle can walk along very happily all by itself. And all you've got to do now is concentrate on taking the vehicle through this narrow track without knocking any of these stumps down. Okay, we're just going to go over this slight mound and we're going to climb over it without using any gas, just to show you that the vehicle can walk over it, and we're going to come down it without using any brakes. So we're going to use the engine compression to take us down. Does it nice and easy.
I guess that's why you want a diesel with the torque versus a gasoline-powered machine
Yeah.
for this kind of an environment.
You need a big gas engine to be able to do the same as this small diesel engine with respect to producing that torque at lower engine revolutions.
What we've got here is a series of mounds and depressions. That's why it's called Mogul's off-road driving section. And what it's designed to do is it's designed to catch the driver out. So for instance, with respect to where your wheels are, if we have the front left-hand wheel going in here in this nice muddy watery hole, and the rear right-hand wheel going in this nice muddy watery hole, what's going to happen is the front axle is going to go like that, the rear axle is going to go like that, and this wheel and this wheel are going to start to lose traction. And because the suspension's reached its maximum amount of travel and the vehicle gets stuck. So what we're trying to do here is to get the driver to start looking ahead and planning his route down the track so as to avoid getting the wheels into places where the vehicle can get stuck.
And my approach angle here is going to be critical to get a good result.
So we're coming right off the clutch, just letting the vehicle walk into this slight ditch. We're at a nice angle for it, so the front wheel's going to climb up. And there we go, just crawling through that nicely. And again, what we're doing is we're walking the vehicle.
Picking my path there so I
picking
can
your
get
path.
caught up. Sometimes this shade is actually very difficult to see what might be the right angle to not get caught on something here. This is not as easy as it looks, folks. Boy, can you ever feel that
There's
steering
the
watch?
suspension. Hear that?
Yes?
That's the rear spring just dislocating and relocating as you stretch it to its maximum. And everything's done nice and slowly, so all of that weight transfer happening really slowly as we go into these holes. The vehicle's just crawling through here.
I just got to make sure now I'm in the right position for this next deal here. Just trying to get a sense of where this tire is located so I can make this move to take that one over the top of that high spot there. Oh, I'm getting a little better sense of where that vehicle is.
Yeah, you did well there.
And we got through that.
And the natural tendency when you get stuck like that is to want to accelerate.
Yes.
You probably feel that. And it's the worst thing that you can do. When mud just goes flying, the vehicle digs itself deeper in.
This is an area where we teach how to recover from failing to climb a hill. So what most people do when they fail to climb a hill is, especially when it's wet and slippery, they carry out the wrong procedure and they start to slide backwards and maybe sideways and into the ditch on the side of the road. So what we do here is we teach them how to incorporate all three forms of braking that are in the vehicle and successfully take the vehicle back down the hill and have a reassess the situation and wheel print a little bit better and try and get back up again.
And again, we still just want to stay in first gear here?
Yeah. Looking at the position you want the vehicle in, the gear's correct. A little bit of gas, please. And we're going to climb up the hill. I'm just going to tell you to turn the engine off. Keep more gas. And engine off. And that's what most people do. They get on the clutch, they get on the brake, and the engine's still running. And all I wanted you to do there was just engine
Just turn it off.
Yeah. We're stepping out of the side, out of the realms of normal driving here. We're using a technique that is counterintuitive to what you'd normally do when you're driving. So, sort of getting that technique into place, so it's engine off, foot brake on, handbrake on, and then thinking about what to do next.
Engine off, foot brake on, handbrake on.
Yeah.
And then worry about the gearing after
And
that.
leaving the clutch alone, yeah.
Well, that went really well. It looked a lot scarier than it really was. That order of things there when you're actually stopping on the hill, if you have a problem there, is a little just new.
Yeah.
And it took a little while to sort out.
As I said, you're just stepping outside the realms of normal driving, and with any new driving technique, it is a system, and just getting used to the system and applying it when necessary is important.
The Motorhead Traveler. Now here at the OnCourse driving facility, if you do choose to come on this adventure, we're going to continue our quest to leave our little Motorhead Traveler prize boxes all over the world, where you can take your family on a real cool treasure hunt. Check out motorheadtraveler.com. It's on the free homepage, all the locations. And while you're here, you could get this bad boy. I'm not going to tell you the numbers. You'll have to check the website. Well, this is looking a tad more extreme there, Mr. Mick.
Yeah, as I said earlier on, the course just gets progressively more difficult. We start to come through the day. And this is an exercise area we call the Sudan Pothole. It's named after an experience I had in Sudan where I got a large six-wheel drive ex-military lorry completely jammed in a pothole. But what we're doing is more ascending and descend, and the correct method of descending hills, and also looking at that wheel printing capability as well.
So we're in first gear, it's nice and dry, fairly compact, so we're just going to walk the vehicle up the hill.
Just a little bit of accelerator like we did on the last one, because this is the biggest hill I have seen yet.
Just let the vehicle walk back down into here. And then I'm just going to give you the cue of when to change into second gear. I just want you to nose the vehicle in first gear. Now second, and gas. Off the clutch and gas. Bit more, bit more, bit more. Okay. Clutch down, into reverse. You didn't have enough gas down there to just keep pushing the vehicle.
So just the wrong timing on the throttle.
Yeah,
the gear change was okay, but the throttle pressure was wrong.
Yeah. So let's go from second gear here, and just release the brake and the clutch at the same time, and get on the gas. That's it, gas. Gas, gas, gas.
Sweet!
Okay,
oh,
to the
difference.
left. So it's all a question of timing, listen to the vehicle, and just don't be afraid to give it some. We've been walking the vehicle all day without any gas. We have to know the correct time when we need to use that accelerator. So whenever we're using a different gear other than first gear, going to second or third, we need to give it enough to go through.
This is actually a really interesting vehicle to drive, and I think would probably be the best choice for here in Africa, wouldn't it?
Yeah, for working in this type of environment, it hasn't got any creature comforts, but it's a real workhorse in this type of environment.
stay tuned for some more fun 4x4 in action coming up after the break. The Motorhead Traveler. Now, as you get into Africa, parts of Asia, and some of the other parts of the world, they have a very different design in what you and I might consider a toilet to be. So if you're going to come to this part of the world, don't be like my camera guy Ryan when he was backpacking around Morocco and be surprised the first time you see this. I thought we better share this with you. And one of the exercises you better do before coming to this part of the world is this. Get down in this position, get comfortable with it, because this is what a local bathroom looks like. And by the way, that's the cleanest one I've ever seen.
Coming down to the exercise area, in a part-time four-wheel drive would be in 2H, in a full-time four-wheel drive with the transfer case open, correct position, correct speed, correct gear, where the transfer case is open in here, and then you can feel the vehicle starting to slide as we're coming through, especially there, and as we're coming around this off-camber corner, we've not got much control at that type of speed, and we're only doing like 30 kilometers per hour. And so with the transfer case locked or 4H engaged, which I've just done now as the vehicle's moving straight, we should be able to feel a significant difference in handling as we come through the exercise again.
Even in the passenger seat, you can really feel that. It's amazing.
Good, so approaching this corner, think about position, speed and gear, everything's sorted out before going into the corner. Look through the corner to the exit, and accelerate away, up into third gear. Okay, thinking about position, speed and gear coming down to the exercise. Keep it nice and close to that first one. Steer in. You're just turning into it a bit too quick. Ryan's just captured all of those cones on camera. We're going to name that one Kevin's Cone. Oh, you've still got that one, second one
No
down.
way.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I thought I nailed it that time. Well, apparently I did again.
Steer in. And a touch of accelerator now. Steer around that cone. You got it. Well done.
Finally
It's a lot
getting it.
smoother.
Saving that second cone. I think I hit it about 6 times in a row there. But that was because I had the wrong entry angle on the
You
first.
did, yeah. Well done, Kevin. Apart from number 2 cone, Kevin's cone, which we managed to miss over the last couple of times, that was really good. You started to show a lot of improvement with respects to steering and throttle control going through that.
Yeah, I felt it as I maintained a consistent speed through the corners there, and I really tried to do it. It was way harder than I expected it to be because the dynamics and the amount of steering input, because this wheel does multiple revolutions to the right and multiple revolutions to the left, and it was quite a handful to kind of get it sorted, but what a ton of fun. I loved it.
But
despite the fact that Kev's home.
That's also important, as you said, completely different from driving a saloon vehicle.
Oh, it's not even similar to a road car in any way. Saloon vehicle, again, that's another one of these British terms, and he keeps messing with us about being Canadian, so haha, that means regular car. Anyways, I guess it's time to do a little braking.
Absolutely.
The swerve to avoid exercise, which is basically teaching us about the trade-off we have between our brakes and our steering. So coming down to the exercise left, so we're on the brakes hard and in, and clutch down at the end.
Wow. So I noticed that you made this reference to left.
Most people have made up their mind when they come down to that exercise, and you can see by the way that the student's setting up which way they prefer to go, and you basically call the opposite direction. And what this does, it simulates, if you like, that decision making that you have to make on the road.
Just keep it nice and smooth coming down here, Kev.
You want me to target 60 kilometers an hour,
Yeah,
like 40,
just-
45, 50?
Just
keeping
coming
it
out of
smooth?
the corner, then just start accelerating up. Yeah, up to 60. Left. And touch down just a touch early, but we did pretty good. We just got one of the entrance cones down. One down.
So I'm just trying to bring the speed up to the required entry speed of 60 kilometers per hour. Just going to come smooth and accelerate up to 60 right here.
Right. And clutch down. And see how much shorter the braking distance is. You are virtually stopped by the stop box. And just,
That's exciting.
we'll have another go at
One
that.
more
One
time.
more to go at that.
Maybe 10 more times.
That's a favourite saying of ours in the courses. Just one more time.
I'm actually now completed the course and driving in one of these back tracks with Uganda. You can see the bikes with these big boxes and how they use bicycles and the boda, the little motorcycles, as transport trucks around here. This has been a really rewarding experience. Everybody here in Uganda has been so nice to us. The city of Kampala is really interesting to go and hang out. And this driver training course has taken me from fear getting off the airplane, seeing what I described as chaos going down the road. I'm feeling really comfortable and confident. When I first got off the airplane and saw this kind of terrain, it was like, I want a driver, but of course, being the Motorhead Traveler, we got some skills under the belt now. Very friendly as everyone is here, and I can't wait to show you another great motorsports adventure. Remember to tune to our website and check out the special treasure hunting with our geocache locations. And if you want to go on another motorsport adventure of a lifetime, make sure you tune in next week for some more great Motorhead fun.